Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Anthony Joshua has spoken about this Tyson Fury fight, and with regards to these tweets going out from Tyson Fury, in fact tweets going out about the fight in general between him and Tyson Fury. He would like to just get on with the fight and forget about this constant back and forth of tweets. This is what he had to say. "I don't know what's in it for him, but all I want to do is beat him. He's in my industry, we're both front runners, but I want to be number one. This is undisputed championship of the world. Enough of this Twitter back and forth. It's about securing the fight and putting on a good show, and using my energy to uplift people, not bring them down. I don't want to demonize his character and use energy to bring someone down. I know I can beat him, I believe it, and I will prove it. So in June I'm looking to defend my titles, and I'm looking to claim one more as well. I want all the smoke. I'm looking to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I've been chasing it, I'm born for it, and I'm definitely going to do it." So there we go, that is what Anthony Joshua has explained about this back and forth on Twitter. Obviously, Tyson Fury does keep coming out with these tweets, and one minute he's excited for the fight, the next minute he does not believe it's going to happen. Now, we have spoken about this previously in previous videos, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but obviously Anthony Joshua does believe that they are pushing forwards, whereas Tyson Fury is a little bit more skeptical. Whether that is Tyson Fury playing mind games or whether he is just being skeptical in general, we don't know just yet, but the likelihood is the fight does take place in June. So despite hearing some perhaps negative comments from Tyson Fury, I'd fully expected this fight to take place, and obviously Anthony Joshua does believe they are moving forward. Bob Arum, Tyson Fury's promoter, does say things are moving forwards, so does Eddie Hearn, so things are moving in the right direction. Tyson Fury seems to be a little bit frustrated, and I think that stems from being inactive. He does want to fight, and it was down to his promoters to get him a fight, and they didn't do it. Obviously at the moment they are hard at work trying to secure this AJ fight for him, so he will have a fight in June, whether it's AJ or someone else, because he did also explain that. He doesn't really care who he's fighting. Obviously his preference is Anthony Joshua, but he just wants to fight twice this year. If it's AJ, then it's AJ twice in the year of 2021. So Tyson Fury just wants to be active, and I do believe that he was frustrated to not get out in December like AJ was, because he is going into this fight as the more inactive fighter compared to Anthony Joshua, because obviously Joshua had his mandatory Kubrat Pulev on the 12th of December, whereas Tyson Fury has been out of the ring since February 22nd, 2020, when he fought Deontay Wilder in a rematch and claimed that WBC World Championship. So not only is this a mega undisputed fight, this is the first time that Tyson Fury has defended a world title. More so than that as well, it's the first time he's gone from a mega fight like Wilder into an even bigger fight with Anthony Joshua. He's never done that before. AJ has, because he's gone from the likes of Klitschko to Takam. I know that Takam wasn't necessarily a world beater, but he was a good fighter, and it was another mega event. But leading on from that, he had, Joseph Parker, then Povetkin, then the likes of Andy Ruiz, then Pulev. So he has been in these big fights continuously back to back and defended world championships. That is something that Fury will be doing for the first time in this fight with AJ. So it's not just a unification fight for Tyson Fury, but more so than that, it's a defense of his world title for the first time in his career. And that comes with its own set of challenges. Now, of course, there has been this kind of back and forth between Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum with regards to the Teofimo Lopez fight. Obviously, Lopez has a mandatory, so therefore what happens with a mandatory is if a deal is not made after a certain amount of time, it goes to purse bids, then the highest bidder gets the fight. Bob Arum offered in the region of 2.5 million, I believe. Eddie Hearn went higher to 3.3, 3.4, maybe even 3.5, maybe even a million more than Bob Arum, but Triller got the fight for 6 million. Still, Bob Arum was displeased that Eddie Hearn put in for the fight, and I mean, Eddie Hearn was just putting in for the fight because he believed that it was a great fight and he wanted Teofimo Lopez on his platform. So it was separate from the AJ versus Fury fight still, but Bob Arum was displeased about that. That won't impact the fight at all, because these two will work together. They have proven that in the past. No matter what happens in the media, they will still get together to make a fight. So that won't affect Undisputed between AJ and Fury, just because they had a disagreement with regards to Teofimo Lopez's fight, because it was a mandatory that went to purse bids. So it was a separate set of circumstances, and it didn't really affect Undisputed between AJ and Fury because it was two different fighters and it wasn't mandatory for Teofimo Lopez, and I wouldn't expect that to cause any problems between Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, none that aren't already there with regards to this big fight between AJ and Fury, because at the end of the day it doesn't really matter if Eddie Hearn does bid for a fight that went to purse bids, where he has the obligation if he wants to go and bid for it, so it doesn't really make any difference whether he did or whether he didn't. It's just Bob Arum getting bent out of shape because he tried to secure the fight, and for some reason Arum believes that that's Eddie Hearn coming onto his territory and trying to take things away. In my opinion, the more money for the fighter, the better really. But anyway, there is more. There is talk about Saul Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders as well. Callum Smith has spoken out about Billy Joe Saunders' chance in this fight. This is what he had to say. Billy Joe Saunders has got movement. He's a southpaw, he's a bit awkward, and can probably stay out of trouble, but I don't know if he's got anything to keep Canelo off. Enough power. Now, those are interesting comments because when has Canelo ever struggled with someone who has power? We've never really seen that. He seems to be able to navigate fighters like that anyway. I mean, Callum Smith himself has a good amount of power, but Canelo was able to break him down. Gennady Golovkin has a huge amount of power, yet Canelo was able to subdue him and still get the victory. I mean, that first fight, the draw, does hang in the balance a little bit because there were claims that Gennady Golovkin actually won both of the fights, or at least one of them, but still, that's neither here nor there when talking about a fight between Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo. Canelo has proven that he can deal with fighters who come and bring that kind of power. In the past, he has struggled with pure boxers. I mean, the only guy to ever beat him is Floyd Mayweather, and he's not considered to be a power puncher or someone who has that equalizer. Neither is Billy Joe Saunders, and I'm not saying that Billy Joe Saunders is some kind of a second coming to Floyd Mayweather. I'm not saying that at all, but still, it is that aspect of boxing that Canelo has struggled with in the past, not necessarily big power punches, because Canelo's got great head movement, he's got great positioning, he can take a punch, he's proven that. So that just proves that power is not enough to keep Canelo at bay. You need something else, and there are claims that Billy Joe Saunders does have that. He has the movement, he has the awkward, tricky style, he's a lefty as well, to outmaneuver Canelo. The problem is, he's got to do it for 12 rounds, and even if he does do that, is he going to get a decision? Those are the big question marks around this fight. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders, I believe, has all it takes to get there, but it's just whether he has enough to keep raising the bar to Canelo's level. Let's remember, Billy Joe Saunders hasn't proven he can fight at elite level and still get the victory. Canelo has time and time again. So I'm not discrediting Billy Joe Saunders' chances in this fight because I do believe that there is a way in which he can do it, but still, you have to look at the resumes of both fighters and what they have done during their careers. You can see there is a gulf in class, but that doesn't mean that Billy Joe Saunders cannot raise his game to Canelo, because we've seen Billy Joe Saunders raises his game to the opponent that's in front of him. So we should get a career best at Billy Joe Saunders against Canelo, and boy is he going to need that kind of performance. But guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Pick your favourite subject and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.